Hey everyone, welcome to DJ Essentials. My name is Zeeshan, and as someone who had to teach themselves how to DJ on their own, my goal with this series is to teach you the essential techniques and tips that DJs use all around the world every day to get you guys mixing as fast as possible. I got into DJing when I was just a kid, and there wasn't really much resources for me to use apart from the few tutorials online. But despite that, I was really able to learn by example by learning from others how to mix. So in a sense, I really want to pay back to the community that taught me and create a one-stop shop for people who are just like me and have that passion to get started DJing, but don't really know where to get started. So without further ado, let's talk about beat matching. Beat matching really is that first essential technique you gotta learn when it comes to DJing. It acts as that first step and fundamental platform for a bunch of other techniques to follow. What beat matching is the process of matching the tempos of two tracks together and adjusting them to play in sync with one another. In order to really break that down, we have to learn three things: what tempo or beats per minute is, what a beat is, and what a bar is. Beats per minute or BPM in terms of DJing is what we use to determine how fast or how slow a track is. The higher number the BPM, the faster the song. Now think of the beat as the rhythm you tap your foot to when you're listening to a song. Each tap of your foot acts as one beat. Now a bar is a segment of beats where each beat corresponds to a particular note value. Now later on in this series, we'll dive much deeper into beats, bars, and most importantly, phrases. But for now, all you really need to know about bars is how we determine what the one is in a bar. The one is the first beat in a bar. For most music, bars are segmented into 4 beats. So if we count 1, 2, 3, 4 while listening to the beat of a song, those 4 beats create one bar. Okay, so let's get started on how to learn how to beat match. First, some housekeeping. The DJ unit here is split into 3 sections. There's 2 turntable sections and a mixer section. For the mixer section, we want to make sure the crossfader, which is this horizontal fader right here, is right in the center, and that the volume faders for channel 1 and 2 are set to their highest position. We want to make sure that the EQ section is set at 12 o'clock for all the bands. We will not be using any filters or any effects today. Moving on to the turntable section, we have a nice jog wheel in the center, a cue button and a play pause button, a tempo slider, and some additional things like a hot cue section, a looping section, and for this specific controller, a way to switch between deck 2 and 4. For now, let's focus on the tempo slider. So what the tempo slider does is adjust the speed of the track. When we pull it away, it slows down the track. And when we speed it up, when we pull it towards us, it will speed up the track. So what our first step to do is make sure that both tracks have the exact same tempo or BPM. So I'll just adjust the tempo slider so that they're both sitting at 124 BPM. Next up is the cue button and the play pause button. Play pause is pretty self-explanatory. You hit it, it starts playing. You hit it again, it pauses. With the cue button though, while the track is paused, we can go to a certain beat and hit the cue button. And from there, every time we tap the cue button and let go, it will snap back right to that beat once we let go. This is really useful. Let's say we're playing a track and we want to go right back to the beginning. We can hit the cue button and it'll go right back. Next up is the jog wheel. While the track is playing, if we touch the top of the platter, the track is going to stop. And if we move the platter, we're going to be able to move through the track, both forward and backward. If we touch the side of the jog wheel, however, we'll be able to momentarily slow down the track if we move anti-clockwise. And if we move clockwise, we'll be able to momentarily speed up the track. This is going to become very useful when we try to beat match these 2 tracks together. So to practice beat matching as an absolute beginner, I think it's best to make sure that you have both tracks be the exact same. We want to just hit play on this track and count along the beats. Use your finger to the side of the jog wheel to tap along. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember those bars we talked about. We want to drop this track on the 1. Right now, both these tracks are looping, so it's not really as important, but it's an important concept to learn, dropping on the 1. What I like to do next is tap the cue button that's been set at a 1 to the track. If we break down the steps, we're playing this track right here, and we're tapping along. When we feel comfortable, go ahead and tap along to the cue, and then switch over to the play button to start beat matching. Now you're going to hear that these aren't perfectly in line. We sort of have this galloping effect. So what we want to do is nudge the side of the jog wheel. What I like to do is I like to sort of guess and check. So I go one direction, see if it improves, and if it doesn't improve, I go the other direction, and I know if I go more in that direction, I get closer and closer to a perfect beat match. So let's say I want to slow this track down to see if it gets any better. And I can hear it's starting to gallop even more, so I know I'm going the wrong direction. Let's move forward now. We're getting closer. There we go. And this is the advantage of having both tracks be identical, because when we get a perfect beat match, both of these tracks will experience a phenomenon called phasing. This is how the track normally sounds. And this is how the track is going to sound when it is played twice simultaneously. So to break that down one more time, let's just go step by step. Step one, have a nice cue point at the first beat of the track you want to mix in. Step two, start playing the track and counting along. And when you're comfortable, drop the track, preferably on a 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Start moving the jog wheel. Get a feel to see if it's getting any better. If it is, keep going until you get a perfect beat match. And with enough practice, you'll be able to beat match every time. That's going to do it for our first episode of DJ Essentials. Next week, we're going to tackle one of the most important parts of DJing, phrase mixing. If you like DJ Essentials and you want to keep up to date with our latest uploads, hit the subscribe button down below and hit the bell icon to be notified when we upload next. Like and comment down below if you're starting your DJ journey.